What's up, guys? I'm EJ, and this is Kendall here, and today we're doing our 2019 redraft. This is a video we do every year, Kendall, where we redraft the players in the previous draft. So this will be the class of 2019. It should be very interesting because obviously we've had Zion recently come up and have a crazy few weeks / months of the season so far. Where obviously Ja Morant has been the presumptive rookie of the year. So what happens at the top may be interesting. Some of the players we've seen rise up in this draft class that maybe were drafted a little lower should be interesting as well. And so what guys maybe fall out of this top 10 that we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's been this draft wasn't looked at as the deepest draft, but been some guys that have certainly outplayed expectations. Some guys that I had higher than other people that have played well. Some guys that I had higher than other people that haven't played well. Some guys have come on late, but it's been an interesting draft class. So interested to see where we have these guys fall out.
All right, so let's do this. So again, we're doing the 2019 draft class. I will go first here. Did I go? Well, actually, I went first last year, right? So I think you should go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll have the number one pick here.
All right. So number one, I'm going with Zion Williamson.
Okay.
Number one. I mean, there was a debate in your head about injury, things of that nature, but we're talking about a guy that, when he's healthy, is such an automatic all-star.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much to go after that. Ja Morant's a spectacular talent, going to be one of if not the best point guard in the league very soon. But right now, Zion, when he's healthy, is a top 15 guy in the league. So, yeah. I will go with Zion Williamson and just hope that he can stay healthy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Zion's been ridiculous. He came back from injury. Number two here, I'm going with Ja Morant. Again, this one to me pretty simple as well. Ja was my pick for Rookie of the Year before the season. I think a lot of people thought I was insane for making that pick. And I may have pulled one off with him getting it, but again, Zion's making a really, really strong push in the few weeks we've had him playing this season. But Ja Morant's just been sensational. I mean, Memphis was a complete joke last year. And right now, pushing for a playoff spot, may end up getting in. Ja, the way he's running that team, the way he's going against some of the best players in the league and holding his own, you can't help but just feel like this kid's going to be special. I love his attitude. I love his mentality. And I love the way he's able to really lift everybody else who plays with him. All the guys that we've seen, Dylan Brooks, even Jonas Valanciunas, these guys are having some of their best seasons. And a lot of it has to do with their point guard. And he deserves a lot of credit. So he's an easy number 2 pick for me.
All right, I'm gonna take a lot of heat for this. I already know, but number 3, I'm gonna go with my guy Cam Reddish.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going my guy Cam Reddish.
That's ridiculous.
I think Reddish.
That 36% field goal percentage is makes sense. You've seen enough for him to be number 3.
I think Cam Reddish. He started off weak, and that's fair. But he's had some performances recently that you have to be encouraged about, and as the season has progressed, has slowly but surely gotten better. And I look at not where the guy is now. This is a projection pick. This is, I think, in 3 years he could be the 3rd best player in this draft. I can't imagine he's 1 or 2 because Morant and Zion seem to have that on lock. But the question is, who's the 3rd best player in this draft? This is the hardest pick, I think, in this entire thing. Because,
yeah, probably.
For me, there was 3-4 guys that I thought about. And I look at all those 3-4 guys that I thought about. I think he's the one that I look at 5 years from now who has shown flashes of superstardom or stardom. I think it's Cam Reddish. There are other guys that could go here, and I'm gonna get heat certainly from people that have already given me heat for my pre-draft takes. But there's no slight on the rest of these guys. I think he's a very good player.
All right, Cam Reddish off the board there. I didn't expect to be here at number 4 with this. I thought I might be here, but I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect it to be Cam going ahead of him. Number 4, maybe I'm a Gonzaga homer, but I'm gonna go with Rui Hachimura. I'm a Gonzaga fan for people who don't understand, but I'm gonna go with Rui Hachimura at number 4 here. And to me, injuries kind of plagued his season, but if I look at all the rookies, really outside of maybe even another Gonzaga player in Brandon Clarke, and say, okay, regardless of injuries, who have had no issues pretty much, played solid, been exactly what you expect them to be in their first year. You talk about Zion, with injuries, but still. You talk about Ja Morant. I said that I make the case that maybe you would say Brandon Clarke, and then maybe there's a case for Tyler Hero, and then next one is Rui Hachimura. I mean, to me, he's been what exactly you expected: 12 to 13 points, rebounding, shooting a high percentage, very efficient, and
master of the mid range.
Master of the mid range. And I think that his game is continuing to develop and evolve. So I don't know. He just seems to be really solid. I'm not sure he's a superstar, but I know he's a solid NBA player, and that's good enough for me with a lot of the question marks in this draft. So he goes number 4.
Certainly one of the guys I considered at 3. I love Rui Hachimura. I think, age, obviously he's 21. So you worry about, what's the long-term upside. But, I mean, we've had guys, Kawhi Leonard came in older than the rest of these guys, and, he ended up being a great player. Could he be, end up being a superstar? I think absolutely. Not what I expected you to go. So
number 5 here.
I'll probably get more heat.
Okay.
But at number 5, I'm going with my guy Tyler Hero, another guy pre-draft that I was extremely high on. I think I probably didn't lean enough into my pre-draft feelings on Tyler Hero, my positive feelings on Tyler Hero, because I think there was a part of me that also liked Nick Stauskas. I was worried, could this guy be Nick Stauskas 2.0? So I kind of was tepid in my review of Nick Stauskas' or Tyler Hero's season at Kentucky, but absolutely what we've seen at Summer League, but then now what we've seen from him playing with Jimmy Butler and playing with Kendrick Nunn and playing with Bam Adebayo, you can see the guy is absolutely going to be the guy who can play on a championship team, a guy who can absolutely contribute on a championship team. And that's important for all of these guys, because some of these guys we don't know yet. Some of these guys have played on bad teams and have, even like Cam Reddish. I don't know what Cam Reddish is on a good team because I've never seen it.
Yeah, you're drafting him at number 3.
Well, yeah, I gave my reasons. But with Tyler Hero, I think I know that he can be a good player on a championship team. Whether or not I think he'd ever be the best player on a championship team, that's my question mark, similar to Rui. But I know big shot maker already. Shooting is something that is necessary in today's NBA. Some of the guys that I didn't pick haven't displayed that yet. And that's why I think Hero will always have a spot on the team and is a starter on most teams around the league going forward.
So I'm going with number 6 here, and this is a drop for the guy from where he was drafted in this draft. But I'm going R.J. Barrett. I think that I don't think he's had a disappointing season in New York. I think that he's shown flashes. I mean, he's had some really good games as of late. I just think that some of the concerns you may have about RJ have been kind of brought out and played out for us. I think the fact that he's not a consistent jump shooter. I think the fact that he really relies heavily on his left hand, and that if you're planning a team around him, you really have to make sure the team has a lot of shooting to make up for the fact that he's going to be a guy who needs driving lane. So he's not a perfect player by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing you do like about him, the kid has a lot of heart. He's not afraid to make big plays and make the big shot. He's going at whoever's after him, and he seems to have the makeup of an NBA really, really good player. And we've seen flashes that he can end up being that guy. It's just a matter of, can his game catch up to the makeup? And that's something that I think is a question mark. I don't feel bad about it, but I can't say 100% certainty that I know he deserved to be the number 3 pick in the draft. So in my big board, he dropped one spot. But in this draft, he ended up going 6 because of how everything worked out. And I think it makes sense. He's had an up and down year. But I think there is a lot to like with him. I think the future is still bright for RJ Barrett, despite him dropping in this list.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like RJ Barrett. I think that he's a good young player, and I think obviously I had my issues with him pre-draft, but there are also some things that he's done better than I expected. And I think him topping out at 6, he could have been higher. I certainly considered him at 3, but I think he still has a very bright future. I think Knicks fans should be very excited.
All right, now you got number 7 pick. Where are we going here?
Number 7, I'm gonna go with COLBY White. I think COLBY White, I wasn't super high on pre-draft. Did not like him. He was my number 3 point guard behind Darius Garland and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but he's been impressive so far. He's shown the most scoring potential of all the point guards in this draft, and that surprises me because I thought Darius Garland was billed as that guy for a lot of people. But when you talk about COLBY White being 6'5", better at driving to the basket, and he had just had a longer sample size in college, it's not shocking in that regard. But he's put up some very explosive performances in Chicago. Again, not really winning many games, but a lot of these guys aren't winning many games, so I don't blast him too much for that. But yeah, I think when you talk about his size, scoring ability, I think he rounds out as a guy who they could be a very good player.
And Coby White had went 7 in the actual NBA draft.
Yes.
So he's him besides Morant and Williamson, he's the only guy in this that has stayed pat where he went. Number 8, I'm going with Brandon Clarke. This is a guy who I think has had a tremendous rookie season. He's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. And I know people weren't excited about his age and they questioned his size, but I mean I think he's clearly shown that with the kind of passer, someone like John Morant who can get him open shots, he's an extremely efficient player. He can defend multiple positions. And I think that for Memphis, they got to be thrilled to get a guy that late in the draft. It didn't make sense why, to me, he fell. If anybody who watched him play, there were times at Gonzaga where he was just flat out dominant. And I think because he's such a great athlete, even when he gets to the NBA level, he automatically comes into that elite athleticism realm. You know, those are only a few guys in the NBA that are as fast, as strong, as high leaping as someone like Brandon Clarke, and who has a skill level, who actually can score around the basket. Obviously, we know he can finish in terms of alley-oops and dunks. He's been remarkable this season. I love the way he's played, so he was an easy pick for me at number 8.
So at number 9, I'm going to go to a guy who hasn't had a spectacular season, but I think still has a bright future. I'm going to go with Jarrett Culver, who pre-draft I was very high on. I think Jarrett Culver has had some issues. He's had some issues, obviously, in Minnesota. Not a spectacular shooter. Still has a little trouble creating with shot creation, but I think Jarrett Culver is also a guy that, in a much better situation, would be effective. And I think he's kind of miscast playing on that Minnesota team. I think he's kind of buried. And it's not that they're not playing him or they're not playing him correctly, but I just think he's a guy that needs to be on a good team. Like, I think, Tyler Hero benefited greatly by playing on a Miami Heat team that is a playoff team. And do I think that Jarrett Culver will be playing on the Miami Heat? I think absolutely. I think he's too good of a defender. I think he's too talented on the offensive side of the ball as well, that I find it hard to believe he wouldn't be able to carve out a role on a playoff team. So I think he's on a bad team. They had to play him a lot of minutes at the point. I don't think that's where his future lies. So I don't know. I think maybe some of this is me leaning on my pre-draft evaluation of Jarrett Culver and what he did at Texas Tech, but I don't know. I'm still high on Jarrett Culver.
Interesting there. We got the last pick here, number 10. There's a couple guys I can go with here, but according to my big board, the last guy left right now is P.J. Washington for Charlotte.
Wow.
P.J. Washington has played really strong.
Wow.
I mean, he's pretty much. I think for Charlotte, this is what you could have expected.
You
could have expected from
Romeo Langford.
Why do I go with Romeo Langford?
I'm a Celtics fan, so.
Yeah, no, that wasn't happening. No, I mean, P.J. Washington's been pretty much what you would have expected pretty much this season. Solid. He's shown an ability to score. He's looked comfortable playing 3 and 4. He's very athletic. And the concerns we had with potential injury risks haven't really been realized. So, not a lot to be excited for in Charlotte, but I think the way he's played this season, I think you definitely got to be excited. He looks like a solid player. I'm not sure he's a star. I'm not sure he's a top 3 or 4 player on a championship caliber team, but he looks like he's going to be a very, very serviceable NBA player. I love the way he's played this season. So he gets my last pick here, number 10.
2 guys on my list that did not make it were DeAndre Hunter and Darius Garland. Those guys would have been my top 10. Everyone else made it.
So 2 guys. I also had 2 guys who didn't make it, but it was not either of those guys. It was Jackson Hayes and Eric Pascal. Eric Pascal, I know he's a senior. I know he's older, but
he'd be a lottery pick.
Can't deny the guy's playing great.
Yeah, he'd be a lottery
he's had a great season. So I had no issue with him. I had no issue with picking him in the top 10. He would have been the 10th guy if we had went down the line and picked every guy from my list. My honorable mentions included DeAndre Hunter, who just missed the cut. He hasn't been bad, but to me, I just think that I would like to probably see a little more efficiency from him, especially a guy who I'm not anticipating having to be a high-volume guy, and him shooting in the low 40% is not something I was really excited about. Darius Garland, he's still very young, but he was not in my top 10. I don't think I could have seen anything from him that looks like a top 10 pick this year, in my opinion. So he was out of there. But he was honorable mention.
Remember the Darius Garland high school tape though, and the 5 games of Vanderbilt, and the 5 games
what got
he played
him.
in
It's
Cleveland.
crazy. That's what got him into the top 5. It's nuts. I also had Kevin Porter mentioned. He's played pretty well, and I had Cam Reddish was also in that, and Matisse Thybulle, also someone I thought about as an ace defensive player who's honorable mention. Culver,
no Carson Edwards.
I loved no Carson Edwards. Crazy though, Culver, I didn't even mention him in any of this. I mean, he's just been forgotten for me, and I love.
But that's the thing, man. Going to Minnesota, I think he's out of sight, out of mind. I think people aren't.
Yeah, but Cleveland. I mean, Garland and Porter outside of mind, but I still had the recognition to at least put them on my honorable mention list. I haven't seen anything from Culver that suggests he should have been a top 10 pick right now.
Yeah, I think it's a bad situation. But I agree, he's had a rough season.
So when you dress him at 9, I was kind of like, oh my god, the guy who's off my board made it to the top 10. But I think this is a fun exercise. I'm curious what you guys think of this 2019 redraft. Who would you take if you had to do it all over again? Make sure you leave a comment and like this video, and of course subscribe to our channel, New Generation Media. That's Kendall. I'm EJ. Take it easy, guys. Peace.